Namaskar and welcome to NFL Masala. I'm your co-host Sanat.
And I am your other co-host, Rakshak. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 17 of NFL Masala, where we talk about all the latest happenings in the NFL with a little bit of spice. Welcome back.
We are back. Yes, sir. We are back now for more NFL news and updates about Week 4 this time, and we're going to be recapping what happened in Week 4, previewing what we think is going to happen Week 5. I have given up predicting at this point because I've been wrong so many times and I've been burned so many times. Packers specifically. Let's get started.
The Eagles will put me on life support. We all have a lot to complain about, so.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Let's get started before our Week 4 recap with some Dhamakadar news.
So,
all right. Go ahead.
So right at the bat, unfortunately, we did have a passing today. Former Baltimore Ravens defensive lineman Arthur Jones. He died at the age of 39 years old. He was an All-Pro tackle and was part of the Ravens squad that won the Super Bowl in 2011. And he is also the older brother of one former NFL player, Chandler Jones, and the older brother of UFC veteran, former UFC heavyweight and light heavyweight champion John Jones. He was 39 years old. Thoughts and prayers go to his family. Goes to the Jones family.
Yep. And even more touchdown news, the Tyreek Hill injury.
Oh, no. That was brutal.
Basically, on a Monday night game between the Dolphins and the Jets, Tyreek Hill caught a pass, was going out of bounds when his plant leg got twisted underneath a defender, taking him out of bounds. And because of that twisting injury, I will not play the video because it is extremely graphic.
Yeah.
Because of that twisting injury, Tyreek Hill has torn all the ligaments and dislocated his entire knee on his right leg. So that is probably going to mean that he is not going to play for the foreseeable future.
I think at the time he might retire. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
Take care of your health. Take care of what's happening at home. Don't focus on football right now. Focus on recovery. That's it. Yep. And speaking of players getting injured and all that, there's been a change in the guard. For quarterbacks, the Cleveland Browns are benching veteran Joe Flacco, and they're going to be putting in rookie Dylan Gabriel. So that's going to be interesting. I thought everyone would be like, oh, they'll do Shador and all that stuff. I don't know. I think with the way that this Browns offensive line is, I doubt putting in a young QB in there. But then again, they're at the point of no returns. Why the hell not? Just throw darts at them. Just throw shit on a wall and see if it falls off or something. And we'll see whether it stands. I think that they're at this point.
Yeah. All right. I mean, this is their defense is so good. Their defense is so good.
But their offense is so bad.
Yeah, we'll get into this in a little bit.
You'll get more.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's get started. Week 4 recap.
Oh no. What the hell happened?
Well, we tied. Packers, Cowboys, they tied after overtime 40-40. It is scoregami. It is a scoregami. So that is the one positive thing, or one of the two positive things, three positive things I will take out of this game.
Can I say something about this game really quickly?
Go ahead.
There is a phrase in football. A tie game is the same thing as kissing your sister.
I
I
don't like that
honestly felt
phrase.
the Packers and the Cowboys. I thought it would be a greatest game by urinating tree, but apparently I would like to put this on the segment on what the fuck is a defense, because I did not see any defense at all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hate this fucking game. I hate this game. Um I don't even know why we're here. It's just the story of the Packers every single fucking year. You start inconsistent, you figure shit out at the end, and then you lose in the playoffs just for another year to happen. And it's just like the momentum that we had built up from the first 2 weeks, defeating our arch nemesis, the Detroit Lions, in such a brutish way at home. Defense was roaring, and we came back and whooped the Commanders. And then the wheels just fell off from the fourth quarter onwards of the Browns game. So for like the last 5 quarters in the NFL, or for the season for the Packers, across 6 quarters now because we played 1 quarter overtime. The last 6 quarters of the season for the Packers has been mind-bogglingly atrocious. It has been mind-bogglingly atrocious. In the first 3 and 3/4 games, so that would be what? You have 2 full games. That's 8 + 3, so 13 quarters. First 13 quarters of the season for the Packers, the defense gave up a total of, let me just bring this up here. First 13 weeks of the NFL season, the Packers gave up 28 points. 28 in 11 quarters of football against NFL teams, this defense. The next 6, 53. Just let that sink in for a second. 53, almost double the points allowed in the last 6 quarters of the season versus the initial 11 quarters against good offenses. Now, granted, the Browns are not a good offense, but still, you had the Lions who hung 52 points on the Bears, and then this again, 34 points on the Browns. And then you had the Commanders, who are a pretty decent offense in their own right. Like, the Cowboys just did a phenomenal job of figuring out what the Packers' weakness was in this game. And that was Packers play a lot of man coverage. And so because they play a lot of man coverage, and they rely on that front four to get all the pressure, all you need to do is keep the ball away from the front four by throwing it short, getting the ball out, and making sure that your receivers and running backs have space. Now, granted, there were a lot of holding calls on but that were not called. That's like every game, so I'm really not going to complain that much. There were a lot of holding calls. There was also uh, a an intentional grounding penalty in the last 43 seconds of the game that should have been called, that should not have allowed the Cowboys to go down, take the lead, and then kick it to overtime, which they eventually would tie the game. But if we are realistically being honest, this game shouldn't even have been that close. And the main reason why is because our defense just got out schemed, and they had their weaknesses used against them. The Cowboys locked down Micah Parsons. They, even with a banged up offensive line, they locked down Micah Parsons. They got the ball out quickly. They relied on when you look at the actual game stats, right? We only allowed 117 rushing yards. Now, two of the touchdowns that were scored from Dallas were rushing touchdowns, but those were scored. One from Dak Prescott and one from Javonte Williams. So when you look at like the overall performance from the defensive side, they just didn't have the ability to adjust to what the Cowboys offense was doing to them. The Cowboys targeted the Packers' weakness, which is the secondary, specifically the corners. Now, I was glazing the corners, and I share in the problem here, but I was glazing the corners for the past 3 weeks because they've been doing such a fantastic job. But it seems like it's more of a byproduct of having a pass rush that gets home very quickly. In this case, we didn't get home that quickly at all. We just forced one sack. It was just like initially they threw short.
Let
Right?
it all out. Let it all out.
I don't even know what to say because it's just so shocking. It's like initially they did throw short, but once the defense got gassed, they started throwing bombs to George Pickens. And when you look at George Pickens' receiving numbers, he had 153 passer rating when he was targeted. And average depth of target was 15 yards. That's pretty deep.
George, I honestly felt that like George Pickens that game, he just went off, and I give credit where credit's due. He stepped up when CD Lamb was not there,
Mhm.
and I think like the bread and butter of the Cowboys always try to develop with the run game under Brian Schottenheimer, but when you're attacking with an early pass offense, holy shit, it connects everything together. And as you said before, and I actually like said like the Cowboys, they were able to quickly throw the ball and beat off any pressure that the Packers are giving in. So it's like no matter how much you try and blitz, guess what? We have hot routes and guys that we could depend upon going. And
Mhm.
I think they did capitalizing on that. But can we talk about the flags as well? Because
Dude, so I'll get into this when I talk about the offense.
yeah,
All right. Just one more point about the defense. Um, they knew how to target um, our defense, and that was let's throw the ball out quickly initially to gas the pass rush. Then once we gas the pass rush, let's create conflict points for the corners and create routes where George Pickens is open, where Cavante Turpin is open down the field, and that's what you see, right? Those two had the highest average depth of target for the Cowboys. 14.6 for George Pickens and 18.8 for sorry, not Cavante Turpin, Jalen Tolbert. Jalen fucking Tolbert, backup running back, right? Now, the next person after that was Cavante Turpin at 9.3 average depth of target. So it's like they had a formula to defeat the Packers defense. Get the pass rush tired, once they do get tired, which we saw in like the third and fourth quarter, especially, bombs away. And that's exactly what happened in the scoring. When you look at the way that the game was going, the Packers were fantastic in the first quarter. 14-0 lead in the first quarter. This is exactly how we thought it was going to
13
go.
nothing.
Yeah, 13-0 because of that
13, yeah,
dumbass. So I
13 to
will get
2.
to that. I will get to that. I will get to that. So it was we had a 2 touchdown lead at that point. Then you had the onslaught of mistakes from the Packers side, both defensively and offensively. And then you just saw the Cowboys offense kind of flip a switch once that formula started working. And then that's when they did five um, 5 touchdown drives. So out of the next 7 drives, 5 of them were touchdowns. One was a punt, one was a field goal to go into overtime. So clearly, clearly this defense just got outmatched. And you know, Dak Prescott and the credit to Brian Schottenheimer for figuring out a way to get rid of the advantages accrued by the Packers defense. And this is where Jeff Hafley should have played potentially more zone coverage and given the pass rush a little bit more time, maybe an extra second to get home, right? Because there were many times where once Micah Parsons beat the double team blocks that he had, once he had that extra second, he was almost there to get to bring Dak Prescott down. There were so many of these almost chances where if the wide receiver was not open, that would have been a sack. He would have had like 2 or 3 sacks on the game. But that adjustment did not happen. So now, because the defense shit the bed, you then had the special teams who also decided, hey, let's add on to the problem instead of actually doing our fucking jobs. And they allowed a blocked extra point to be returned for a 2-point conversion. This is after they had a blocked field goal at the end of one of the drives against the Browns, which didn't allow us to win. So this, one second, sorry. So like this game really highlighted that, or has really confirmed that Rich Bisaccia should not be coaching special teams. We are right now relying on Dan Whalen, the punt god, to kick us deep and keep the offense pinned. We cannot rely on our field goal kicking team anymore. Besides Brandon McManus, you can't rely on anybody on that special teams squad. It's just like, what are we doing here? This is supposed to be the easiest job in the NFL. Block or blocking for field goals and for punts is supposed to be the easiest, least complicated job in the NFL. And we've seen consistent failures in that week to week to week. It's just unacceptable because if this happens in the playoffs, you're done.
Yeah.
Right? This is exactly what we saw versus the 49ers in 2022. When the defense was really doing well, the offense was shit, but then you had that blocked field goal or punt return for a touchdown, and it's just Yeah. This has to get rectified. This has to get rectified. I don't know if you get rid of Rich Bisaccia, if Matt LaFleur lights a fire under Rich Bisaccia's ass to say like, hey, we cannot afford to make these type of mistakes anymore. Fix the goddamn units. I don't care if you force everyone to run suicides every day, but get these guys in fucking shape and make sure that they don't fuck up.
I don't blame you, man. I really don't blame you because like right now, special teams since like week 2 or week 1, special
Yeah.
teams has been like a game changer. It has literally
It's
impacted
been our
hell.
Achilles heel.
I mean, I'm afraid. You know what? I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? I think our special teams has the best chance of beating your special teams. I mean, I'll talk about that later, but it's
Probably.
like, but goodness, it looked bad.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I had you guys winning by 20 points at best. And when I
Yeah.
saw the defense not capitalizing the special teams mistakes, I'm like,
No
bro,
turnovers either,
oh yeah,
which
what
used
are
to
the
be our specialty last year.
and guess and you know I'll always preach about this. What are the 3 things that can kill offensive drives and influence games?
Sacks, turnovers, and
Penalties.
penalties. Speaking of penalties,
Oh boy.
speaking of penalties,
Okay, you know what? I'll let you have the floor. I'm going to mute myself so you can.
we are tied third with the most number of penalties on the season. 35 counted against us. 35 penalties. Let's check what those penalties are for. Shall we? Let's look at all of the penalties that are against the offense. False start, 10. Offensive holding, 9. Delay of game, 1. Illegal formation, 1. Ineligible downfield pass, 1. That's it. So when you look at who takes up, what takes up the most amount of our penalties, all starts in offensive holding. 19, dude. 19 penalties on those two types out of just 35. That's like a 60% rate of just on the offensive line.
That is crazy.
What the hell? What is the preparation then? What is the preparation? That means you're averaging like what? So 9 offensive holding penalties across 4 games. That's what, like 2.25 offensive holding penalties, I believe. Right? Yeah, 2.25 offensive holding penalties. You do that times 10, that's 22 yards, right? 22 yards every game that you're losing on just that one penalty, one type of penalty alone on average. False starts, that's another 5. 10 divided by 4, that's about 2.5 times 5, that's about 12 and a half.
Yeah.
So you're almost giving up 35 free yards of penalties on average just from 2 types of offensive penalties that should not happen.
I have no idea what to say.
This is a Matt LaFleur issue. This is a Matt LaFleur issue because when you look at Jordan Love, he is not the problem. He is not the problem.
I thought Jordan Love
He,
had himself a very good game.
he had a career
Wait.
game,
Oh,
338 passing yards, 4
wait.
touchdowns.
And you know what? If I had an offensive MVP, I don't think it was Jordan Love. Romeo Dobbs was my
Romeo.
MVP.
That's what I was going to say next. Right? Romeo has stepped in clutch without Christian Watson and Matthew Golden still getting his feet under him and no Jaden Reed. Romeo and Tucker Kraft. actually, when you look at EPA metrics, the best, I think I saw this somewhere right here. The best, fuck, where did I see this?
Yeah, it's all good.
So I basically saw like in terms of top five, um, like uh, quarterback receiver combos in terms of EPA per play, Tucker Craft and Jordan Love were there.
Easily.
So it is a very explosive combo, Jordan Love and Tucker Craft, and then you have consistency in in Romeo Dobbs and the way that he's performed week after week. So those three guys, they're not the problem here. Jordan Love, if you're saying, he's being shitty this entire season against in a clean pocket, he has the highest completion percentage over expected and EPA per play. Against the blitz, number one in total EPA per play, in passing EPA per play, in average depth of target, in passing grades, third in passing yards, fourth in EPA per play, um, and fourth in success rate. So Jordan Love has been a phenomenal quarterback this season. It's just that he has never had the time to actually throw. The fact that this offensive line has continued, that is where the continued to suffer. That is where the real problem lies. Is where we're losing three of our five starters. Right? When you look at and I'll wrap this up because I don't want to delay. I don't want to keep hammering the same shtick, right? I don't want to keep hammering the same things. Excuse me. Zach Tom has not been playing. Aaron Banks has not been playing. So two of our five offensive starters have not been playing. The rest that we've been rotating in have done a shitty job. It's been like a turnstile. Even against the Cowboys, the pressure rate that we allowed was unfathomable. 21.7% pressure rate. So one in five passes, one in five dropbacks was being pressured for Jordan Love. And he had like 47 dropbacks.
That is
Sorry,
insane.
43 dropbacks. So it's the offensive line is the issue. We need to get healthy. And thankfully, we have a bye week coming up. Spoiler alert. So that is what's going to allow us. Well, yeah, that's it for me from this game. You can take it away. You can complain about the Eagles now.
Oh my goodness. I I predicted that the Eagles were going to lose to the Bucks. The way because
Mhm.
somehow every time we
It
play in
almost
Tampa Bay,
happened.
I know basically it was a reverse Rams game.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say I want to love this team, but god damn it, can you have a competent offense for a full fucking game? It's not too hard. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Nick Sirianni? What the fuck are you doing, Kevin Patullo? Like, this was the Rams game in reverse. Offense was on fire in the first half. And then you completely fucking retreated into the sand, heads buried like a bunch of grown ass ostriches. Like, good lord, it was disgusting to fucking watch. And how can I say this? Jalen Hurts, first half, 15 for 16, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And if I'm trying to look at it like play by play, and I mean, first quarter, I think the first Eagles possession, touchdown. Second quarter, it was punt, touchdown, field goal. And it was clicking. Like, we were actually doing things. And then the second half, and I mean, for his stats, for Jalen Hurts, 15 for 16, 130 yards, 2 for touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 4 rushes for 42 yards. Then the second half, I see a fucking egg. Did not throw a completed pass in the entire second half. We could not complete a fucking pass. 0 yards. Sacked twice for negative 18 yards. And I put this because we did not have a we don't have an offense that can play that can be competent for a good half. Like, you literally have to depend on star players like AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley. It is driving me nuts. And I want to say, like, and if you look at the pass plays, what the hell are the Eagles running? What are the routes? Like, is it just dagger, slant, curl? Like, no hot routes against the blitz. And you have AJ Brown complaining on Twitter, literally pulling up an entire fucking week for the media to come upon and say, like, oh my God, are the Eagles going to trade him? Hell no. If you trade AJ Brown, it's going to be a $90 million dead cap against us. There's no fucking way Howie Roseman's going to do it. But man, AJ Brown, I get that you want to address with the offensive issues. Like, we need more better routes. And Devontae Smith is also upset about it too. But it's like, it's so fucking conservative and vanilla. And you cannot even run the ball. I mean, you don't even have an elite rushing offense like they did. There are changes in O-line, especially with Mekhi Becton gone. Tyler Stevens replacing him. And of course, Lane Johnson, Lanny Dickerson, and some of the play, and even I think in some cases Tyler Stevens, they're not at 100%. And you know what? I give credit to where credit is for the defenses. That they're stacking the box, they're playing a lot of zone to stopping Saquon. And Saquon is averaging, so far in 4 games, Saquon's averaging 3 yards per carry. Although I did like that nice touchdown. I did like that nice TD pass on that fake tush push in the third quarter. But I mean, if I want to talk more about the passing, I'm like, I see Jalen Hurts attacking Dallas Goedert. If you look at the first quarter, when they went 8 plays for 73 yards, when he was throwing it to Saquon Barkley outside, and then of course the deep pass, and then targeting Devontae Smith a little. But when you're targeting the middle, and then when you had AJ Dillon coming in, I mean, and shotgun formation, that was working well because most of the time, when the offense is not running 11 personnel, we actually work. But if you're trying to run in bunch formations with the Eagles, like less than 90%, it's working. No, it's like the run does not work when you're trying to run in bunch formation because Dallas Goedert, although he can block, he's not healthy all the time, and Greg Calcaterra is a terrible blocker. Can't block Katera. I remember one dude from the Philly Special podcast, Philly Special show on YouTube talked about it. It's like, why are you running in rush zone read in options instead of going out? Why aren't you trying to like mix up with some play action? I mean, and especially when you're running QB draws, it's working well. But again, when you're going fucking conservative, 3rd and 22, what do? HB draw? Are you kidding me? Why the hell are we doing the shake tool? Why? And what I really liked about the first half is part of the flaws when they were trying to go in that little shrugged formation. Jalen Hurts, they faked the run, then shovel passing it to Dallas Goedert. He did that twice, and Goddard had like 2 touchdowns that game. But I mean, goodness gracious, this was bad. And yes, we want to try and get the pass game to work, but why? Why does it have to be so complicated? And when you're running simplistic routes, and especially like on 3rd downs and whatnot, and 2nd downs, you know you're going to be targeting AJ Brown a lot of time. And basically the routes that you're making AJ Brown like him run, you're basically allowing the cornerback like Zion McCollum and or Jamel Dean to go up and follow the routes with him. I mean, give credit to and I want to give compared to guys like Levante David, Vita Vea had a 2-sack game, incredible. But it was just horrible, 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 horrible. But it's bad. The offense needs an overall change. I don't want to talk about stats, otherwise I will get angry as hell. Defense. The only thing that allowed this Eagles team to stay on was his defense. Vic Fangio. But in God we trust, in Vic Fangio and the defense we trust, because what a grind for the squad. And yeah, it kind of helped with Mike Evans not playing, but I just want to say that this is like the Eagles team. This is the first time like an Eagles team in the Eagles history that they've gone 4-0 while being outgained in the passing and rushing in rushing categories. They've been outgained for the past couple of games, yet they're finding ways to win. One of them has to be on defense. Yes, the Eagles did give up 376 yards and 2 big two big plays. I mean, Baker Mayfield, I'm happy that we were able to beat that bitch. Baker Mayfield finishing 22 for 40, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 sacks. I was very surprised that Vic Fangio brought in like a ton of blitz at some cases, because I honestly thought like the maybe like the edges in the pass rush wasn't getting there. Not having Nolan Smith does hurt, because Nolan Smith is on IR, and you have to rely on guys like Jalen Hunt, Hassan Reddick, Josh Uche, Patrick Johnson. I'm surprised that Azeez Ojulari didn't even get some snaps in, but Jordan Davis was in and out. Jalen Carter. I thought this was kind of a bit of a bad game. And like the run game, using the combination of Bucky Irving and Rashad White really helped out. But I want to talk about the coverage on the passing game. If you want to talk about receiving, Bucky Irving led the team in receiving yards, 5 receptions for 102 yards. Emeka Egbuka, 4 receptions for 101 yards and a touchdown. Both Irving and Egbuka got touchdowns. Rashad White, 4 for 29. Chris Godwin, 3 for 26. Sterling Shepard, 2 for 14. But I want to give a big fucking credit to the cornerbacks, especially Quinyon Mitchell, a.k.a. Quinyanimo Bay, who is the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And Cooper DeJean, who led the team in tackles. But the funny thing is, how do I say this? When he had made that tackle and he had that mini step over, Allen Iverson step over, it was called for taunting. That I thought that was a bitch move by the refs. And I get that they're trying to crack down on taunting penalties, but oh my goodness, it was. I thought like it was bad. I thought like it was like a bit out of control. Zach Bond, if I want to give out credits, like Zach Bond had himself a game, 8 total tackles. 5 solos, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. Zach Bond, crucial everywhere. 4 tackles in the first half, 3 solos and 1 sack. He was crucial in stopping Emeka Egbuka for a no gain on a 3rd and 1. And if you want to talk about Quinyon Mitchell, which I am going to, like crazy, Quinyon Mitchell went up against when he had 22 matchups against Emeka Egbuka. He only allowed 2 receptions for 6 yards, with all 6 targets coming in tight windows. Those 6 tight windows targeted are tied for the most in any wide receiver CB matchup in a game since 2018. The Bucs lost negative 5.7 EPA when targeting Egbuka against Mitchell in coverage. In contrast, Egbuka got 2 out of 4 targets against other defenders for 95 yards and a touchdown. That is incredible. Like, Quinyon Mitchell was shadowing him a lot. And of course, he was also talking mad shit to Baker on some incompleted pass, and I thought that was pretty funny. Mitchell, equally effective. in his other coverage assignments. He allowed 0 receptions on 3 targets. And I'm just talking about my man Quinyonamo Bay because he's back. When he was facing off against like Buka, he only allowed 2 receptions for 6 yards.
Right. Yeah.
And then Quinyon Mitchell, career high 5 passes defended and allowed 2 receptions for 6 yards on 9
Not
targets.
bad.
Per next gen stats, he's allowing a passer rating of 39.6 when targeted in week 4. The lowest mark this season among any defenders. I mean, yeah, Chris Godwin had himself a bit of a shaky game, but I mean, because he's coming back from injury, but I mean, damn, Quinyon Mitchell was everywhere. I mean, and I did see him getting a little bit handsy. I'm like, I don't know, man. I admit, ref ball came in our way in some parts, but I mean, just be careful. You're playing good coverage. You have the good makeup speed, and being
handsy is the mark of a great corner, in my opinion. Being handsy and getting away with it, right? Knowing when and where to be handsy, that is the mark of like if you're directly in front of the view of the judges and umpires, and you're like grabbing the jersey, obviously they're gonna call it, right? But if you're like making little tugs here and there, it's all fair play. You know, it's in that gray area.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I do get that, but it was, I mean, incredible. I was talking about how shit the offense was, but the defense was so good. And the fact that Quinyon Mitchell's like shit talking on Baker Mayfield, it's like, bro, calm down, man. You have a complete game. Let's finish it. But I also want to talk about another guy, Keely Ringo. He came in with Adoree Jackson being out, and this is his first start. I thought he had himself a good game, other than the tackling. But good Lord, you got to wrap up, man. But this is why I wanted Keely Ringo to start over fucking Adoree Bum Jackson. Because 3 targets, 1 reception allowed for 8 yards, 1 pass breakup, 4 tackles. And in the third quarter, he was part of the team that he also recovered a fumble after Jugs Hunt had that peanut punched Bucky Irving inside Tampa Bay territory, and the Eagles were able to set up the only touchdown drive in the second half when they did that fake tush push, reverse it to Saquon in for the touchdown. It's like ban it at your own will. It's like now try and ban this shit, but
fake Philly
tackles.
That's what it's gonna call.
Fake Philly. I like
Philly.
it. Yeah, so I would say missed tackles has to clean up. Vic Fangio said that, but I thought he had himself a good game. But can we talk about freaking Jahad Campbell? Holy shit! If other than Quinyon Mitchell, Jahad Campbell, while playing with a bad triceps or something like that, he was balling out. I am so freaking blessed that we have rookies. And I mean, honestly, I don't even know if Nakobe Dean becomes a starter when he comes back. Because Jahad Campbell.
Nah, he can't. I think Nakobe Dean is going to be a trade target.
I think he's going to be a trade target too. I think at the end of the season. But I'll say this, like, I mean, if you want to talk about Jahad Campbell, like, yes, he was responsible for that Bucky Irving long touchdown. It was a blown coverage. He had the right thing, but he didn't get the tackle. And Bucky Irving is very shifty as hell. But he came up freaking big. I mean, and he finished the game with and I'm trying to pull up Jahad Campbell's stats. Jahad Campbell, 4 total tackles, 2 solos, 1 pass defended. But the big play, Bucks start driving in 31-23. Baker Mayfield going under pressure, gets tipped, and Jahad Campbell, right place, right time, gets his first career interception. Well done for the rookie, man. And I think, like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised because if Nakobe Dean comes back, I could see a package where they put Nakobe Dean. I think they go, maybe if they go 3 linebackers, go Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, and Nakobe Dean, and then you bring in
Mm-hmm.
Campbell as a blitzer because he used to play edge. He has that dual ability. And then, of course, you can't forget about Jeremiah Trotter Jr. You can't forget about Smile Mondin. It's like, it's a very good problem to have. Knowing
Yeah.
that you have capable linebackers and the corner room's like, yeah, Andrew Makuba missed out badly on that Emeka Egbuka touchdown. Got to do better cleaning up, but that's the only thing. But I think looks likely he's going to be the starter over. But um, I mean, defense, and I mean, I want to talk about Perry Nickerson. This dude, 30 years old, he's a UDFA, trying to find a good spot. He comes in late in the fourth quarter and stops the Bucks on a crucial fourth down play.
Nice.
And I mean, Perry Nickerson, I think he might be seeing a little bit more, but that's perfectly okay. Marcus Epps, and I mean, as much as we've been banging the table for like Justin Simmons or Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I think I'm okay with the safety room at the moment but it's like we need another veteran. And I didn't think I saw a lot from Zadarius Smith, and I honestly think that Fangio brought in a lot more blitzes and pressures because the edge rushers are not tackling properly, or is that they're not getting in. And we're doing so bad against the run, yet we're finding ways to win this game. But it's like, I know it's a Fangio bend but don't break, but I think it can be a little bit cleaned up. I think so. But another big thing why the Eagles won this game, and Baker Mayfield's a fucking bitch, so fuck you, motherfucker, for leaving that. You guys know I have a big hate relationship with Baker Mayfield.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to special teams. I thought this was a game changer, and you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say this is my Masala moment of the week. First play of the game. First drive for the Bucks. They punt it. Bucks tried to punt it, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Cameron Latu, who is now our backup fullback, comes to special teams, blocks the punt. Who else but Sidney Brown runs it in for the touchdown? Hell of a job by Michael Clay. Last week against the Rams, a blocked field goal and a blocked field goal for a touchdown. Or I'm going to call it the silence of the Rams because that's literally what happened. And now,
That's a good one.
And now, like, Sidney Brown, like, what the hell is going on with our special teams? Because, like, I hated it. And then, of course, Jake Elliott did. But another big Masala moment I want to give out is actually to the Bucks. Chase McLaughlin makes a 60-plus yard field goal kick, the longest in his career. And I'm pulling up the stats on this one. The field goal, it was a 65-yarder. Incredible. Incredible by Chase McLaughlin. I mean, like, everyone is kicking like 60-plus yarders now these days. But I'm happy about the win. But the offense has to be so much cleaner. I mean, if you keep on doing this shit, Campatilla, Nick Sirianni, you're going to have more A.J. Brown fiasco, and I don't want it. I am tired of this shit. That's all I ask for. I just want a complete fucking game.
Exactly. Alrighty. Well, that's going to be it for us in terms of our games of the week. Now we're going to move on to the famous segment that is known by the NFL fans, NFL Masala fans worldwide. That is Punch Minutes. Let's get started, shall we? From the AFC side, the Vikings versus the Steelers. The Steel City team went to Ireland and whooped the Vikings' ass. Actually, they didn't whoop the Vikings' ass. They just beat them 24-21. Rodgers had another good, decent game. And the Vikings with Carson Wentz. That's all I need to say. Vikings with Carson Wentz. That's all I need to say.
Oh, my God.
Next up, Bills versus Saints. Bills win 31-19. I have to give credit to the Saints. They fought well in the first half, but the Bills put the game away. The positive notes here for the Saints and all Saints fans is that Kellen Moore's offense, with the dearth of talent that they have, unfortunately, at QB, is not bad. This game, they had fewer penalties than the Bills' offense, more first downs gained, and a higher third down percentage. So, all positive signs. Clearly, though, they are still looking for a long term QB solution because I don't know if Spencer Rattler is it. He's been pretty good. He could be a good QB in a perfect scenario. Is he going to build this team and is he going to help this team rise from the ashes again? I don't think so. So let's see in the future. But so far, they've been the best 0-4 team that we could possibly ask for. Patriots 42, Panthers 13. Back-to-back games with special teams touchdowns for the Patriots. More positive news. Drake May looks legit, and they did not fumble the ball. They stopped fumbling the ball for the first time in what feels like 18 years, actually, just in a couple of weeks. So that's fucking fantastic. Anyways, for Bryce Young, he hasn't looked like himself all year. Maybe he needs a Madison Greer or Haley Steinfeld in his life to, uh put some magic in his performance, if
Oh
you know
my
what I mean. Supercharge his performance day
Oh my
and night.
god.
Maybe he does. We'll see. Um Titans. Texans win 26-0. They shut out the Titans for the first time in probably a while. Cam Ward, highest number of sacks, second most sacks taken this year, highest pressure rate this year, more than the Bengals offensive line. That is the state of this offense for the Titans.
And Cam Ward, the best press game pass
Yeah, yeah.
we asked. Yeah.
He was very honest. He was not diplomatic at all. He was incredibly honest and reflective about the situation that they have, which is that they are in fact ass. And that too with the legendary offensive line coach. I think that offense just needs a wholesale remodel, honestly. And I don't know if Titans fans have it in them to do it all over again. Chiefs 37, Ravens 20. Well, this game doesn't matter since everyone, including Lamar, got injured. Dolphins 27, Jets 21. Tyreek Hill, as we said at the beginning, just search that injury and that name, and that will give you everything you need to know about what happened and the trajectory of the Dolphins for the foreseeable future. Is Tua going to be trade bait? Is he going to be released at the end of the year because he plays like a potato? Who does the Dolphins build around? Is Mike McDaniel gone? Those questions are now at the forefront of Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, who is also the founder of the Ross School of Business, Michigan. Go Blue. And then last but not least, Broncos 28, Bengals 3. Should have been like 35-3. Bengals, to fire Zach Taylor already, please. Just fire him. He's not. He wasn't the answer in the beginning. He is not the answer now, especially when you have two Ferraris in the woodshed and another Ferrari in the shop in Joe Burrow, and you're rocking out with a fucking Dodge, Dart at quarterback, and what? Uh, a lemon car of an offensive line. So, like, please.
Bad.
It's-
The Bungles are like they're gonna go extinct.
they will. Dude, Cincinnati, man. I feel so bad for that city. The high of 2021 and then the loss from the Super Bowl all the way down now. That's it for me. What about you?
Okay.
NFC.
Um, NFC Bears versus Raiders 25-24. What the fuck is this game? Honestly, like it was so bad that I mean, I'll give credit to the Bears. 4 takeaways, 3 interceptions, and the field goal with 33 seconds was blocked by Josh Blackwell. So congrats on that. But
Damn.
then, but I mean, Seahawks versus Cards, and an interesting Thursday night football game. Finally, they throw it to, and Marvin Harrison Jr. gets a touchdown. But again, like the Seahawks, I mean, I mean Jackson Smith and Jigba. But the funniest moment when there was a foul, he was and then it's like, and then the Seahawks players like, this is bullshit. The refs like looking at him like, it's like, excuse me. It's like your parents.
Yeah.
It says excuse me when they're about to get the belt.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the only thing that was like entertaining. It's like the Cardinals' run defense was bad against the Seahawks. Yeah. Jags versus Niners. Oh man, that had a lot of spice at the end. By the way, if you guys didn't know, I'll make this quick. Prior to that game, Robert Saleh made a claim, defensive coordinator for the Niners, made a claim that some members of the Jags staff, including Liam Cohen, the head coach, used to steal, that had a legal way of stealing sign stealing back in Minnesota University. And at the end, but then with that, the Jags win a big road game.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they win, 4 turnovers they forced, which led to 17 points. Parker Washington had a punt return for a touchdown, the first for the Jags in 8 seasons. Travis Etienne, 48-yard rushing touchdown. Trevor Lawrence, 21 for 31, 774 yards and 1 TD. And then at the end, as you're about to shake hands, Liam Cohen says, keep my name out of your effing mouth, a la Will Smith and all that stuff.
Yep.
And then everyone's like trying to downplay, but it's like, yeah, no one got slapped, if you know what I mean. But God, it was incredible. Rams versus Colts. Anna, we have to talk about this, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Rams 27, Colts 20. The streak of Daniel Indiana Jones is over. I mean, Matt Stafford just balled out, 88-yard TD pass to Tutu Atwell at the end. Puka Nacua, 170 receiving yards. I mean, 375 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Rams defense, Jared Verse strip sack, Cam Crow, second interception of the game. But can we talk about Adonai Mitchell? What the hell happened? What the hell? He literally blew the game for the Colts on that one big touchdown pass where he caught. He pulled off the Deshaun Jackson challenge.
Yeah.
And on a Jonathan Taylor big run, a holding call. Adonai Mitchell, come on, my dude.
That play, that almost play of him losing the football at the end of, just before he reached the end zone and the ball going out of the end zone, that being a touchback and a turnover for the opposing team. So that was
it was bad. Giants versus Chargers. 21-18 for the Giants. Hey, Jackson Dart gets his first win, but I mean, Justin Herbert got intercepted twice. Martin Hampton and a 2-point conversion run, brought within 3, but they could not complete the comeback. The biggest issue is Malik Neighbors out with a torn ACL. He was carted off. It was horrible. I'm wishing him nothing but the best. Lions versus Browns. Lions win 34-10. That happened. Jared Goff, 2 touchdown passes to one of them to Khalif Raymond. Two touchdown passes to guess who? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Do you know how much I love watching Amon-Ra St. Brown run routes?
How much?
That much. Khalif Raymond, Return to punt for 65 yards and a touchdown. Lions defense, 3 turnovers forced, 2 INTs for Flacco, held the Browns to 10 points. Falcons versus Commies, 34-27. Falcons win. Apparently, surprisingly, a high-scoring contest. I think Mariota didn't have a bad game, but the defense is a liability at this point. Bijan Robinson, 151 rushing yards and a touchdown. Michael Penix for over 300 total yards passing and 3 touchdown passes. Mariota also had over 300 total yards, 3 total touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing. And yes, you're playing without Scary Terry and Jaden Daniels, but you know what? Debo had himself a good game, so I'll give him that. Falcons 2-2, Commanders 2-2.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, that's going to be it for us today in terms of the Week 4 recap. Let's move on to the Week 5 preview, and let's wrap it up very quickly. Packers, we have a bye week. The main thing is get healthy and fix those goddamn special teams issues. If we get healthy on the offensive line side, I'm more confident in the offensive line and the fact that we could potentially, obviously we're facing the Bengals after the bye week, so potentially another bye week at that point. Hopefully, we'll see. Just get healthy. That's the main goal. Just get healthy.
Yeah.
That's it for the Packers.
And then we have the upcoming matchup, Eagles versus Broncos, which I think is going to be a good game. And I'm going to say this right off the bat. This is going to be played in the trenches. Help me out on this one. But Eagles offense against the Broncos defense. Eagles, I'll say this. The reason why this run game is not working for the Eagles, their offensive line is banged up. And why the hell are they going bunch personnel? If you're trying to run 12 and 13 personnel, it's not going to work. You have to find a way to run the ball easily. Hell, get those QB draws going with Jalen Hurts. Then it opens some lanes for Saquon Barkley. But this is a very talented Denver defense. And guess what? You had if you want to talk about a really scary line, Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper,
my God. Yes.
Jonah Ellis, the inside, Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers, DJ Jones.
This Broncos defense is phenomenal.
I am literally scared for this offensive line. We're not even going to run the ball because why? Because if we can't do this shit, what are we doing? And then, Nick Bonito, 31% pass rush win rate. He's had 86 pass rushes, 4.5 sacks. And he's behind Brian Burns, who is the current sack leader. And they're really fast off the edges. And their defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, 30% clip this season, which is 8th highest. And here's another matchup I would see. Pastor Tan's going to be on A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, I know you want the ball and to make this offense going. I highly doubt that's going to work. Yeah. I think this is going to be the Devontae Smith game. You have to involve him more and Dallas Goedert. Broncos, I don't know about their linebacking situation, but if there's something that we could attack with, you'd want to try and attack away from the edges, target the middle of the field. I want to see some mesh routes being involved. I want to see some zone outside reads, like how you had that fake thing to tosses to Goddard. Try and get some proper run blocking going. You open a couple of yards for Saquon and he's able to take off. I'd be like, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ or whoever God that you believe in. Because good Lord. And then again, Eagles defense versus Broncos offense. This is gonna be a fun matchup. Bo Nix, will he become Mo Picks against this Eagles defense? Bo Nix, he threw for 326 yards against the Bungles, but he somehow has the 5th most turnover-worthy plays. He can run, escape the pocket. I believe in the Exciting Mike's podcast between Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship. And I think those two and Vic Fangio said that Bo Nix is a mini Baker Mayfield. So it's they've seen this one style quarterback. So they could be seeing
Mhm.
another test like that. And I think it's going to be a very fun matchup. He can run, escape the pockets, and don't forget J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. I was so pissed that the Eagles did not take R.J. Harvey, but J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, they're like bowling balls, run after contact, and the best matchup is going to be Sean Payton versus Vic Fangio. How are those two going to out scheme each other? And I could
Mhm.
see them going multiple personnel group, but the biggest ones I would see is that wide receiver trio room. Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, and Marvin Mims. They're going to be targeted a little bit more. And I think for this game, Bo Nix has to throw early.
Yeah.
And also like the thing is with Bo Nix, like I would say the Eagles they're going to be playing without Nolan Smith, and Jalen Carter's playing through an injury. So maybe see a little bit more Ojamal and Jordan Davis. If Jordan Davis can pull it off, I think that'd be good. And I think this could be a game for Zadarius Smith, honestly,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I think, and I also want to see Aziz Ojulari play. Like, play the fucking guy. But but here are my matchups, which I say like I think the Eagles have a chance. Cortland Sutton. Guess who I'm putting my guy on? I'm putting
Minya.
Quinion Mitchell. I'm
Mhm.
gonna have him shadow. Rookie Troy Franklin, maybe. I mean, I don't know between Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims. Whoever has the speed, I put Keely Ringo on him. Keely Ringo can play pressure. He can play speed versus speed. He has to make up. You put him in press man, he will have himself a good game. But I will also put Cooper DeJean on Ringo or Ringo on Troy Franklin. Maybe you put in like I think in this case, you may want to bring in Andrew McCool a little bit over. I also found out that Nolan's Nicobe Dean, although he did practice this week, he's not going to be playing this game, which I think is the right
Mhm.
bet. So I think you may be seeing a little bit more Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond. Dallas Goddard, he was practicing today on a limited basis, but we just need this offense to fucking work and score some points. That's all I ask for.
Mhm.
Defense, I know Vic Fangio is going to have like some kind of scheme ready. And special teams, I got all the faith in my special teams. If they somehow pull off some bullshit way to win, I'll be
Yeah.
happy. But I think this is going to be a very, very tough test because this Broncos team, underestimate them at your peril, even though they're bad at away games and they've played some cupcake teams, but they're a pretty good team. And I would not be surprised if the Broncos win.
Mhm.
But I'm going where my heart is. I'm going to say the Eagles win a tight game 27-20.
Okay.
What do you
Okay.
think?
Uh I don't know. I think this is like a toss up.
This is a toss up game with the way that the Eagles offense is playing.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the Broncos can pull off a victory, but for you, I will say the Eagles will win.
No, it's okay. Just be truthful. But if you think the Broncos are going to win, I could see a reason why.
Like, yeah. I don't know. It really depends. The two big question marks are on the offense, right? Can the Broncos offense utilize their running backs against a weaker uh, rushing defense from the Eagles? And can Jalen Hurts actually escape this pass rush?
And the thing is, Jalen Hurts has been very good against the blitz, but but I think like when they started going like blitzing less, it's like and they stuck to more zone.
Exactly.
I think they're gonna stick to more zone because yes, AJ Brown may have that advantage on like 1v1, but it's pass retain. He's on a different
Hmm.
level. So
Hmm.
there's that. That's all I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna go into the um, Masala games of the week segment, starting with the Bucks versus the Seahawks from my end. This is a very underrated matchup. Both 3-1 teams, both Bucks coming off of a tough loss, and the Seahawks coming off of a tough win against the Cardinals. It is a division rival, but still, Cardinals nonetheless. So this is really going to be a game of questions being answered. I think this season, this entire season, has been very inconsistent, right? It's not like you've had runaway great teams. When you look at teams like the Lions, do they love beating up on shitty teams? Yeah, they just whooped the Browns, they whooped the
Hmm.
Bears, but they lost to the Packers in week 1, right? Then you look at the Ravens. You look at the Ravens are 1-3. The fucking Pittsburgh Steelers are leading that division. The
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers are leading the AFC North. The Bengals have a better record than the Ravens. Are we saying that the Bengals are a better team now with Jake Browning? No.
Yeah.
So we've seen a lot of parity, right? When you look at who's leading these divisions, Buffalo, that makes sense. Pittsburgh doesn't make sense. Colts doesn't make sense. Jaguars are also 3-1 potentially. Chargers maybe,
Mm.
right? Eagles make sense. Lions make sense. Bucks make sense. Niners pretty, reasonable, but still there's been a lot of competition. There only have been like 2 or 3 teams that have really bungled, to say the least. But when you look at this matchup, there are a couple of questions that I want to be answered, that I want answered. First, how real is this Bucks offense without potentially Bucky Irving? Because when you look at who's listed as questionable, I believe Bucky Irving. Oh, he's out. So he is out for
Yeah.
this game.
He has a
Right, yeah.
boot.
He has officially been ruled out. So how real is this Bucks offense without Bucky? That is a question that we're going to have to ask. Now, it's not like Bucky has been phenomenal. It's just that he has been a big emphasis for this Bucks offense. So, you know, what are the answers that this Bucks offense can create without Bucky Irving? That is something that I want answered. Does Baker need to pull another rabbit out of the hat? Because when you look at the point differential for the Bucks, it is one of the lowest in victories. Let me look here. Let me look here. It's literally 0. The point differential for the Bucks is 0, which means with a 3-1 record, they just as easily could have been 1-3.
Yeah.
That is how close they are winning and losing these games. So when you also look at the fact that all of these wins have come down in the last minute, for the Bucks, that question has to be asked, right? Does Baker need to pull out another rabbit? Because when you look at the Seahawks defense, it's not like that they have a shitty defense. They have a pretty reasonable
It's
defense.
competent.
It is competent. It is average. In terms of pressure percentage, the Seahawks are ranked. Find it here. My apologies. Uh, yeah. So in terms of pressure percentage, they are one of the top 10 defenses, right? They are sixth in the league in terms of pressure percentage, sixth in sacks. So it's a really good defense, that also um, has a really good pass defense. But when you look at their rushing defense allowed, it's also pretty good. So a really good top 10 defense so far, keeping teams under check. Now you don't have Bucky Irving, your number one offensive weapon. You also don't have uh, Mike Evans, right? When you look at this depth chart, um, You have Chris Godwin and Emeka, but is Rashad White really the answer? So I think in this case, like this Bucks offense need to answer some significant questions. Is this offense, is this rushing offense solely reliant on Bucky Irving? Sorry, my camera is not focusing right now. Okay. Can you see me? Am I blurry?
I think you're a little bit blurry, but I think it's okay.
Okay.
You're blurry though. Just saying.
Okay. Um, but that is the main question. Now, on the other side of the coin, the Seahawks, that is Sam Darnold the answer? Can Sam Darnold and the Hawks offense withstand the intense blitz rate that is thrown on them repeatedly, right?
Yeah,
When you look at the blitz rate from I think they're number one.
they're good. I think like
Yeah, so Bucks are number three in terms of blitz percentage on the entire season, which means Darnold has to succeed against the blitz. Now, so far on the entire season, he's been pretty decent. Um, let me actually find the stat because I remember I saw the stat before. Yeah, okay. So Sam Darnold from a clean pocket has been fantastic, right? Top five EPA per dropback and around second or third in offensive grade. But that's with a clean pocket. What really, happens is when he is under pressure. So, um, what was I saying? Yeah. So under pressure, Darnold needs to figure out if he's the quarterback for the foreseeable future because we saw last year in the playoffs when he got pressured, he has been faltering consistently. So this game is going to be pretty important from both offensive standpoints.
yep.
So yeah,
Awesome.
um,
What's your prediction?
exactly. So I think the Seahawks pull out a victory because I just don't think that the Bucks offense is sustainable without Bucky Irving. I think the Bucks offense so far has been reliant on their star players making star plays. It really reminds me of that 2021 Bengals offense,
Hmm.
right? Star players in Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Joe Mixon, right? Along
Yep.
with T. Higgins, right? Those four guys constituted like 90 or whatever percent of offensive success in 2021 for the Bengals.
Yep.
It's not like that offensive success has been divided relatively, um, not evenly, but relatively well amongst different players, right? It's not like the Packers where any given day some player can go have a good game and carry the offense. So in this case, you really need Bucky Irving and Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka. How much are they really going to target Emeka Egbuka? He's probably going to have, 20 targets, maybe, and probably like 17 catches. Who
I
knows?
think yeah, I think he has to be your main offense in this point.
Exactly. They have to run the offense now through Emeka Egbuka with Chris Godwin as an outside option and Rashad White as a way of taking the pressure off the passing offense. But I would not be surprised if the Bucks have like 35 pass attempts or more in this game just to be competitive. But I think that the Seahawks pull out a close victory once again. I think they win 27-24.
Mhm.
That's it for
Awesome.
me.
Okay. My game of the week, my Masala game of the week is going to be Chiefs versus Jaguars. Monday night game. I think it's going to be fun. Chiefs
Hmm.
2-2, Jags 3-1. And the reason being, it is going to be a how does Pat Mahomes and this offense that's getting that not only has Xavier Worthy back, but Rasheed Rice might be coming in after a couple few more weeks. So with Xavier
Mm.
Worthy, how do they face up against a very talented Jags defense that has been hunting the ball?
Yeah.
It, I mean, but like with that, let's do a mini breakdown. Like Pat Mahomes, like the offensive line is getting around, but it's been a big weakness, especially with like you have Jawan Taylor, I don't know, playing with every false starting every time. But the biggest break for them, Jesus, Trayvon Walker is going to be out, has that wrist surgery, and Kansas City very great in the red zone. And the run gaming has been inconsistent, so maybe you try to put a little bit more Kareem Hunt and to break out more tackles, and then you have Pacheco to finish it over. But now that you have Xavier Worthy back in, your other receivers like Taquan Thornton, hell, even Travis Kelsey and Juju Smith-Schuster, those guys can flourish off a little bit more. The Jags,
Mm.
on the other hand, they lead the league with 13 takeaways, 9 interceptions, 4 fumble recoveries, and a +9 differential throughout the first 4 games. The biggest guy has to be Devin Lloyd. Holy shit, this guy has been playing lights out. Leads the league in 3
Hmm.
interceptions and performs well against both the run and the pass. I think if I'm looking at matchup wise, you put Devin Lloyd on him. But the pass rush has been in and out. But especially with Trayvon Walker being out, you're going to be needing more Josh Hines Allens to attack more. But knowing
Yeah.
Mahomes' ability to escape and the Jags pass defense, I don't know. Do you maybe try to put Travis Hunter in there a little bit more? And the run defense has been very, very iffy. The only reason why the Jags are winning games is because they're like
Mm.
opportunistic. And if the Chiefs could play a clean game, not having too many turnover worthy plays, then I
Mm.
think it's gonna be a long day. On the other hand, it's a vanilla looking Jags offense, except they focus more on running the ball with Travis Etienne, more outside zone schemes via Liam Cohen. The passing game has been bad. Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence, he's only completing 58.3% of his passes, 25th in the league, throwing 4 INTs through 4 games. Red zone is 50% completion. Their O line
Mm.
has been okay, out allowing only 3 sacks, but this Chiefs defense is a different beast. Steve Spagnuolo is their defensive coordinator.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
especially Chris freaking Jones. You this Jags interior, they're having a couple of more injuries, but Jones is gonna feast. And the Chiefs run defense has been really, really weak. So maybe another option, go outside runs, run the ball and control the clock with Travis Etienne. Pass
Mm.
defense has been less dominant, although they've been generating turnovers. But however, defensive end Mike Dana is going to be coming back to lineup, and it's going to pretty much help out. I think for the Jags, run the ball, gain those yards, and drain the clock. Keep Mahomes in the bench. Trevor
Mm.
Lawrence has to do well against the pass rush, and I think it's going to be how do you stop Chris Jones. I think they can pull it off, but I still see the Chiefs winning. It's a different animal, and I think the score will be 27-17. Chiefs, they won it.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that's going to be it for us today. If you guys have enjoyed, please leave us a review. One of the 4 podcast platforms that we host our podcasts on: Apple, Google, Spotify, and Podcast, or DocShuck.
We're also on YouTube, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, and click on the bell icon for more notifications. Now, and we're also on social media on our following platforms: Twitter/X, Instagram, and Threads at the handle, all lowercase, at NFL MASALA 2022. That is at NFL MASALA 2022.
And we're going to hit you guys with the signature outro. Go, Pack, go.
And fly, Eagles, fly. Take care and have a good night, y'all.